Today's story didn't happen to me personally, but it has happened, is happening, and will continue to happen. Until when? God knows. I have no idea how long it will continue, but perhaps what we'll discuss today will shed light on what goes on in the mind of someone who takes such actions. When we shared one of our stories, specifically the one about the new company, Kraken, I mentioned that anyone with a story they felt was worth sharing, even if it seemed insignificant, could email it to me. I received a very long narrative from one individual. He wrote, "I've been deported from Italy, and my life is almost ruined. I want to tell you my story. The reason I'm telling you is that I used to download the entire playlist of A Story Not Worth Hearing and convert it to MP3 using some software. I listened to it throughout my ill-fated journey on an old mobile phone with a 3.5mm jack. So I took his beautiful story, rephrased it dramatically, and decided it must be told." Today's story is long and will be divided into 4 parts starting today. So go grab your coffee, Nescafe, or whatever you like to drink, because today we have a story that I apologize is not worth hearing. God willing, my friends, a new series called The Next World War will start every Sunday, beginning next Sunday. In it, we'll discuss war terminology, something reminiscent of French pain and the eternally extremist man. We'll delve into what's happening, what war means, what an international community is, what the Security Council is, what the United Nations is, and why the world sees us as so small and ugly. We'll explore all of this, God willing, every Sunday. Wait for the next World War, and let's continue to see what happened to our friend who sent me this message when he was migrating illegally. What could drive someone to take such an action, to risk their life, their future, everything, and throw themselves into the open sea, hoping to reach the other shore, without even knowing if they will make it? There's nothing to guarantee they'll cross to the other side. We don't need to state that illegal immigration, besides being a crime, is a gamble with your life. You're wagering your life on something unknown, throwing yourself into the sea or the desert. God knows if you'll make it or not, and if you do, you'll remain a fugitive in very poor conditions. You might say, "But my situation here is terrible, given the economic or financial circumstances I'm facing, or that the country is going through." It's like when your tooth hurts. You either treat it or take painkillers, but you don't cut off your finger just because something else hurts, covering one pain with another, no matter how bad or negative the circumstances are. While we may not be entirely responsible for them, at least a small part of the responsibility falls on us. We can overcome it. Your soul, your value as a human being, is the most precious thing in life, and you shouldn't easily give it up. I know I'm saying this while I'm comfortable and happy, sipping espresso, receiving gifts from who knows where, sitting in a fancy place in a privileged community, and so on. But you and I both know that we all came from there. In the end, we all started from the same place. A large part of your affection for me probably comes from the fact that, ultimately, I'm like you. Yes, God has blessed me, and I hope He blesses you too when you leave. But when you do leave, don't throw your life away like that. Don't ruin yourself in such a manner. So yes, illegal immigration, legally and morally, and in all customs and laws, is a gamble with your life. It's a wager you make with yourself. And how will you improve your life if you're dead? You must be alive for your life to get better. Illegal immigration is a crime against yourself, and what an illegal immigrant goes through is something no living being should ever experience. Even migratory birds migrate in a more dignified way. Let's begin. Every time I saw my father return from the field, holding his hoe or shovel or whatever tool it was, how do you say it in your village? A word would cut deep. I need £10 for a phone card. From where, son? Go find something to do, work. What else, father? I've worked on a tuk-tuk in a bread bakery. I've gone up and down, back and forth, and in the end, I only have a medium-level qualification. What should I do? Volunteer? Do anything? Should I steal? Should I walk the path of the forbidden? What should I do? I'm a 20-year-old young man from one of the villages of Al Fayoum, a village within one of Al Fayoum's districts. What is our village famous for? It's famous for 2/3 of its youth being illegal immigrants living abroad. I didn't know this issue was so widespread until I saw many Facebook groups where people were talking about illegal immigration to Italy. We even found that in a village in Mahala, in the Garbia Governorate, our friends in Mahala can confirm or deny this, there's an espresso machine on every street corner because so many people are there. In our country, in Al Fayoum, I'm speaking from the perspective of the person who sent the message, you'll find espresso machines are even part of a bride's dowry. So I see all of this, and I see this whole world, and the thought is in my mind. I know that some people are blessed by God, they throw themselves into the sea, and they either make it or they don't, God knows. But I know that circumstances are terrible, and my father comes back from the field every day, carrying the world's burdens on his head, and life is awful. Well, Father, I know circumstances are terrible, especially when you're born into a very modest family in a very, very poor village in a city like Al Fayoum. But everything I see, as soon as I get it, my father wouldn't give me £10 to buy a phone card. So I managed to get it from one of my friends. We'd sit in our usual spot at night, smoking shisha, of course, and drinking for free at the cafe. It's not really a cafe, but while we're sitting there pulling on the shisha or whatever we're doing, I got £10, or I had someone open a hotspot for me, and as usual I'd scroll through Instagram. Don't tell me, how do you have a mobile phone and internet when you can't even afford to eat? Please, don't look at me like that. Don't be like those people who see others struggling immensely, living 5 or 6 to a room, and then ask, why do you breed like animals when you're poor and destitute? You see life from your perspective. You received education, health, attention, and upbringing. You received many things that my father didn't and I didn't. I didn't know what you're talking about. You're speaking because you were born comfortable, or God blessed you and you managed to become comfortable. So, to focus on your work, you started thinking about life from a different perspective than mine. So, yes, we have many children. Yes, we do have many children. Why? Because don't forget that the more poverty increases, the higher the birth rate. And the more social welfare and healthcare advance, the more the birth rate decreases. We can talk about this later, but please don't distract me from my topic. Open Instagram. He and his wife are furnishing their 7th apartment. I see so-and-so's mother receiving gifts from all over the world, and I think, why are these people better than me? These people were born into circumstances perhaps similar to mine. None of them were born with a silver spoon in their mouth. Naturally, we were all born, all 9-month babies. We all went through the same education system. We all graduated from public schools when we were young. We were all mocked for our appearance, our clothes, and so on. Neither my father was an electrician, nor a plumber, nor a doorman, nor a school janitor. We are all similar, and we are all the same. Why are these people able to do something I can't? The problem is, I know I shouldn't say this, but what can I do? You can't help but feel this way when you always see people who started at the same line as you, but they managed to pass and get far ahead of you, meaning all their families moved on. And you're the only one left in your place, or you've been falling, declining, and deteriorating. None of them, for example, had a billionaire father, so we can't say it's their class, right? No, they didn't work that hard. They achieved it through cleverness, cunning, deception, and so on. They weren't sons of nobles or born in villas and palaces. Some of them started, and I'm sure of this, from places similar to where I live, and some of them actually started from worse places, and all they had in this world was a bit of wit.